Nintendo Mobile. A bunch of popular heroes are donning their costumes as well as new weapons and stats just in time for the Halloween season from now until November 27th. This batch of heroes offers some never-before-seen combinations, including armored units with bows and green tomes and a flying red tome user. Here's how to build them to their full potential. Research provided by GamePress and the Fire Emblem Heroes Wiki. Halloween Sakura. Nintendo Mobile. Halloween Sakura is an alternative to Felicia, being a dagger user used to counter mages. However, Halloween Sakura not only has much more attack than Felicia with only slightly less speed, she has the weapon of Kitty Paddle, which deals double damage against foes using magic. This, combined with her almost equally high resistance and her Glace's special skill boosting damage based on her resistance, makes her even more effective at taking down mages. The only downside is that Halloween Sakura's weapon debuff only applies to magic units. And unfortunately she also shares Felicia's low defense and HP, making her susceptible to bow units as well as nearly every melee unit under the sun. She also may have trouble with mages with high defense like Male Robin, but those are pretty rare. You can keep warding stance as it boosts her already high resistance whenever she's attacked. However, you can also switch to warding blow to boost resistance whenever she initiates attacks, or fortress rest to boost resistance all the time at the cost of having slightly less attack. Distant defense is good too, as it boosts both resistance and defense when attacked, but since your defense is so low to begin with, you still want survive attacks from bow units. You can keep guard as it prevents mages from charging special skills such as Moonbow, but you can also consider Water Sweep to prevent magic users from counterattacking at the cost of not being able to follow up. ATK or Deploy works wonders for debuffing even more units. Drawback can help allies move out of harm's way. Try to get a Halloween Sakura with a positive IV in speed and a low IV in defense. Halloween Sakura works with mage allies who can't otherwise get past the high resistance low defense enemy mages. She also works well with distant counter or melee units who can fight back against bow units. Halloween Jakob. Nintendo Mobile is the first armored unit to wield a bow. Halloween Jakob has the highest base stat total among archers, making him viable for the arena. His HP, attack, defense, and resistance are among the highest among archers, though his HP is low among other armored units. Many of his skills also take advantage of these great stats. Ignis boosts damage dealt based on his defense, and Bracing Blow grants extra defense and resistance when initiating combat. His monstrous bow not only has monstrous attack and extra damage against flyers, but turns buffs on all foes within 2 spaces of his target into debuffs. This shuts down Blade Tome users and allows Halloween Jakob to do some support on the side. However, he's also the slowest archer, and in many cases he won't be able to make follow-up attacks. But that's not a problem with Wary Fighter, as it prevents follow-up attacks from the opponent if he's above half HP. The only other downside is that he can only move 1 space. Bracing Blow is great, but since his stats are so great across the board, you can have him inherit Fury to boost all his stats at the cost of taking damage every turn. You could also give him Close Counter, since his low mobility makes him susceptible to melee units. The C-slot skill is pretty flexible, but we recommend Armor March to give him 1 extra movement space if he's next to another armored unit at the start of the turn. Any skill that buffs armored units is also a good choice. Then give him Pivot to help with his mobility. Halloween Jakob can work with nearly any positive IV, but we recommend attack or defense. He can handle a negative IV in speed. Pair him with a support unit such as a healer or a debuffer like Halloween Sakura. Also consider pairing him with a blue unit to deal with Armor Slayer wielding opponents. Halloween Henry. Nintendo Mobile. Much like Halloween Jakob, Halloween Henry has the highest base stat total among all mages due to his status as an armored unit. He also has the highest resistance among mages. Not only that, but he has great attack and speed, making him actually capable of making follow-up attacks. He also gets a strong green tome that has the same effect as Halloween Jakob's bow and comes standard with Armor March as well as Reprisal, which grants bonus to damage equal to 30% damage dealt. Unfortunately, his defense and HP is the lowest for armored units, and that, coupled with his ranged weapon, makes him susceptible to melee attacks. He also only has 1 movement space. Halloween Henry also benefits from inheriting Fury and Pivot. Quick Riposte is also a good skill to inherit, as it allows him to automatically make a follow-up attack if attacked at above 80% HP. Try switching out Reprisal with Glace's to take advantage of his massive resistance. Halloween Henry works wonders with a positive IV in resistance or speed. He can live with a low IV in defense. Pair Halloween Henry with allies who will appreciate his ability to counter popular blue mages, such as strong red melee users. Other armored units who can buff Halloween Henry are also a good choice. Halloween Now Nintendo Mobile A-Flyer with the red tome. Halloween Now's basic kit is all about moving next to allies to boost her stats as well as her allies. Her weapon grimoire allows her to move to a space adjacent to an ally within 2 spaces if she is above half HP. ATK Resbond grants extra attack and resistance to her during combat if adjacent to allies. And Hone Flyers boosts the attack and speed of flying units if next to them at the start of the turn. Reposition can also get people out of a jam. She also has great attack and speed to help take down opponents despite her lacking HP, defense, and resistance. However, if you really want to unlock her potential, you should have her inherit Tharha's Blade Tome. This boosts attack based on how much your stats increased with buffs. And since Halloween Now can receive the powerful Hone Flyers buff as well, she can absolutely devastate other units. Then just add to that Swift Sparrow, or Life and Death to boost her attack and speed, Desperation to ensure she gets both her initial attack and follow-up in before the opponent counterattacks, Threaten Resistance to make opponents even weaker to her attacks, and either Moonbow or Dragon Fang and you should be good to go. She's best with a positive IV in speed and a negative IV in defense. Pairing her with other flyers is a no-brainer. However, she works with just about anyone who can buff her skills with both Hone Fortify skills and Rally skills. Did you snag any of the performing arts heroes? Check out how to build them here.